Alright, it's time for another film review. I know last time I tried to take a break from controversy by doing one of these. Ghostbusters 2016 might not have been the best movie to go with. I mean, that came out over a year ago. So, this time around, I'm going to talk about something a little more current, like everyone's new favorite Edgar Wright film, Baby Driver. Let's get stuck in, shall we? So basically, it is an homage, a tribute to your heist/chase films of yesteryear, which nearly excuses the plot being standard fare about a guy who is tangled up in organized crime, gets the girl, gets out, then gets roped back in for one last job that goes completely sideways and shenanigans ensue. But what it lacked in substance, it more than made up for in style. It had some very well choreographed chase and action scenes, and a soundtrack that is definitely worth mentioning. I believe the term best used to describe this style is that of a jukebox musical. Unlike a regular musical where characters burst into song, then forget all about it and go back to their business, the music is on their side of the fourth wall too. They actually acknowledge and interact with it.
Tequila!
But Baby Driver took it a step further by syncing everything to the soundtrack. Alright, all the sound effects, all the gunshots and tire screeches are in time with the music. And as somebody with a background in sound production, you might not have guessed because I'm still getting used to this setup. This film practically had me giggling with delight throughout my viewing experience. I mean, beautiful, great editing work. It was superb. It alone had this movie sold. But it did have some glaring flaws as it started to fall apart towards the end. Also this time around, I'm going to put in a spoiler warning, because you would have been hard-pressed to spoil Ghostbusters more than the reboot did, am I right? But yeah, spoilers. So he's gotten out, he's on a date with his girlfriend, and then his boss comes up to him and threatens him into coming back for another job. But Baby Driver will have no part in this and makes plans with his girlfriend for a 3 a.m. road trip. Later that night, one of their team members instigates a shootout with the crooked cops that they are buying weapons from, and their boss wants to call the whole job off, but puts it to a vote. And guess what Baby Driver says?
I said we all get some sleep. Get ready for this f***ing thing.
That's right, he wants the job to go ahead, even though he's gonna sneak out for his 3 a.m. road trip and get busted in the process. Not only do they bust him, but they also find out he's been carrying a tape recorder this whole time, making that seemingly pointless character trait relevant to the plot. After they've established that he is not in fact a snitch, they still tell him to go home, but he insists on staying and that they are not doing the job without him. So it didn't really make a difference, and I take back what I said about it being relevant to the plot. But seriously, they gave him 2 opportunities to walk away from this job he did not want to do. I no longer have any sympathy for this character, but I guess the final act had to happen, didn't it? As I mentioned before, the job goes completely sideways, but furthermore, it is because he deliberately sabotaged it by driving into the truck in front of them instead of making a clean getaway. And this was his master plan. Get the team killed, and then go to his boss and ask for help. Need I remind you that just last night he had threatened to kill everyone he holds dear. Brilliant strategy, but luckily he brought his girlfriend along so there would be a change of heart.
Oh, god damn it.
Long story short, he gets busted. And the film ends with a reflection of our criminal justice system that is just cynical, to say the least. So, he is charged with God knows how many car thefts, and being an accessory in God knows how much worth of theft and damages to property, along with loss of human life, plus the 2 murders he committed himself. And you know how much time he spends behind bars? 5 years. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I can't help but to be reminded of the light sentencing handed down to Brock Turner last year, better known as the Stanford rapist. I mean, if you're young, white, and pretty, who cares about the law or minimum sentences? I mean, these are just good kids who made a mistake. Alright? I don't mean to get all social justice on your asses, but imagine if Baby Driver were black. Like, say, the Central Park 5, who were merely accused of rape, yet spent up to 13 years behind bars even though the DNA test results came back negative. Do you think the jury would have gone so easy on Baby Driver if he was a minority? Ha! And I know a lot of you are probably saying, it's not about his looks, it's about the people who came into the courtroom to vouch for him. And you know what? Charles Manson had a fan club too, but I guess he wasn't pretty enough. And sure, his followers who committed the murders might have qualified, but if we cared at all about women, then maybe Brock Turner would have at least served his full 6-month sentence instead of being let out after 3. And it's not just the justice system that is at fault here. We as a society are propagating this. I mean, anybody remember the Boston Marathon of 2013 and its explosive climax at the hands of, forgive me if I get his name wrong, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, better known as the baby-faced bomber? I mean, sure, he killed a bunch of people, injured a whole lot more, and openly admitted that his next destination, if he wasn't caught, was New York. But there were petitions going around to get him a lighter sentence because he's too cute to be a terrorist. So if you liked this movie at all, you need to go and check your goddamn privilege! This is Alternative Factors, and I am Connor O'Loughlin, once again telling y'all to stay woke. Friggin' white people. There's no justice in this world.